Hey everyone, earlier this year I had been on Craigslist looking for odd job opportunities just to supplement my income. I was doing some tutoring and I got really lowballed, and after a few discussions from some of my YouTube subscribers, I came to the conclusion that the problem was I gave up too much of my own personal information. It's kind of like when there are people who are concerned about using loyalty cards when they go to the grocery store because the information might be phished by health insurance companies or by employers when they negotiate your salary. It's kind of like that. What had happened was that I kind of gave away too much personal um, day-to-day activities. We'd be talking about, I would be talking to his mother after the tutoring session. I might bring up that I'm going to I took a road trip back to Pittsburgh and then back to Seattle. There are a few ways that could have harmed the negotiation. First of all, they might think, well, you have money to travel. It's not like you need money to pay bills. That's one way it could have hurt. The other way it could have hurt was that I was commuting about 15 miles each way to do the tutoring. If his mother got the impression that I kind of like driving on the road, which I kind of do. It costs money, but I kind of do. It costs money when I have to go there to tutor. I mean, it takes money away from whatever tuition I'm getting. But his mother might get the impression that I'm kind of getting to do something I love. I mean, she already gets the impression that when I tutor computer science, I'm getting entertainment out of it. She knows I'm writing computer games. I gave up way too much information. She really feels that if I spend an hour tutoring and another hour driving on the highway, which is not that unusual. His mother probably got the impression that I was having 2 hours of fun and still making money, and which to some extent is true, except that the fun that I was getting wasn't going to pay my bills. It's not going to pay my car insurance or my gas. I mean, I was living in my car at that time, but it's not a very fungible commodity. I mean, yes, I was having a lot of joy out of it, a lot of entertainment out of doing the tutoring. I feel I let out too much information. I mean, but the problem is when I thought about it more, the reason I let out so much information was I was also trying to make a social connection as well. It wasn't just tutoring. You see, if I were if this weren't tutoring, if I were going to a corporate job and there were no social connections to be made, which is quite untrue too for corporate jobs that I've gone to. If there were no social connections to be seen, I would have asked for a raise or I would have left. I was breaking even. I mean, to give you an idea, this was 15 miles each way, and there was also a toll to go over the 520 bridge when you go from the east side into downtown Seattle. I can't remember how much that toll was, but it eats. If I'm doing a 1 hour session and there's really nothing, there's no other reason for me to be in Seattle that day, it eats a good amount of that $20 I was collecting. Sure, I mean, I sometimes do have fun. I love to just see people anyway. I like to call it go out and hunt for my future wife. Sure, but that doesn't really do much in terms of paying my bills or, in terms of buying healthy food, or in terms of a lot of things. It cost me money to go to the computer gaming conference, and even the tutoring itself, there are other costs involved. Like that one time, it's kind of interesting because the kid I was tutoring, he was working on AP computer science, and one of the projects was writing a Boggle game, which really excited me. And I made a homemade Boggle set for him, and it cost me a good $10 worth of art supplies. So that was basically one session I did for free. The tolls and the art supplies pretty much ate up the $20. I gave up too much information. The kid and his mom know I love art. They know I love writing computer games. They know that I love to travel. They really felt that the $20 was like extra. You know, I'm doing stuff I love. Yeah, it really was money for stuff I love to do, but life costs money. I gave up too much information. In that case, it might have been okay. What really tipped me over the scale was his mother taking advantage of me. I talked about this in the other video. She expected me to tutor all of her friends and family for the same rate, and she actually went out of her, well, not went out of her way, but she didn't go out of her way to make them convenient for me. They were scattered throughout the day or week, and in different locations, and you know, it's kind of weird because yes, I could have negotiated a higher price for the other students, but I didn't want to create a rift. Some of these people were her close family, as her cousin, or I could have raised everybody's price, but now I kind of gave the impression that you refer somebody, I raise your price too. It's kind of like kicking somebody for doing a favor for you. Neither of them seemed very appetizing. I guess the only thing I could have done was that I don't really have time to take up another student. Let's finish you first. And then after they were done, at that point maybe I could raise the price. Because now we're talking about two different time intervals. Prices, you know, could change for sure. Or maybe I could even tell this first family that, you know, I gave you a favor because I was out of work at the time, whatever the case is. I needed to get my foot in the door in terms of tutoring. This is odd. But I learned that information is worth money. Sometimes I have to repeat to myself. When I give this piece of information now, it's almost like I'm handing away money. I just have to visualize it that way. Sometimes I get so caught up that information just spews out of my mouth, and I don't realize I just spewed like thousands of dollars out of my mouth in a few minutes. Sometimes it really could be that way. I mean, come on, I tutored this kid for. I look back at my record; it was it was over 30 hours. You know, I don't know how much I should have charged him, but I probably spewed away thousands of dollars out of my mouth right there, especially when you account for he was going to refer other students where I could have charged a much higher amount. Thanks for watching.